Hey, what's up guys? Colby Cheese here, and I'm doing a commentary of one of the WCG qualifier matches. I was sent 3, and this is one of 3. The perspective that I'm going to be watching from, I believe, is Don't Mash Me from the Team Curse. Of course, this is, kind of a mix-up of different people. I don't know if this is Team Canada or what. I'm thinking it's Team Canada because I know that 2-8 is Canadian. At least I believe he is. So we'll see how it goes. But anyways, they're going to have Don't Mash Me probably going to... I'd say he's going to be going into... Well, I don't know. Let's see who's got the... Yeah, so we're going to have the Jack going for the Nocturne Jungle. And I'm assuming that we'll have Pirate up top with Don't Mash Me down below with the Alistar and a Brand in the middle. Now, as far as the other team, Scion, interesting choice. I haven't seen a lot of Scions lately, but Scion used to be one of my mains that I played, and he is definitely a fun champion to use and can be strong. He can do a lot of damage, but he can also be shut down easily. He has a shield that does a ton of damage if it is blown up in someone's face, but if you pop that shield, then it will do no damage at all whatsoever. The Alistar is a great choice down bottom lane. He can be both a support and he can be a damage dealer. So, cool thing about Alistar is that he can bring multiple roles to the game and whatnot. Now, I'm going to actually change the sound just a bit because it's a little bit loud. So, let me just do that. And that way we don't get too much background noise. Alright. Anyways, I'm betting that Jack's going to just start at his wolves, and then they're going to leash the blue, and we'll see him either go for a quick gank or just go through his jungle as fast as possible and go for level 6. Nocturne is a great jungler because he, you never know if he's going to come up for that quick gank or if he's going to go for that quick level 6 so that he can jump in. And it looks like we may have a little bit of counter jungle in here. They were expecting him to actually start there, and unfortunately they had nobody sitting in the bush waiting, so that is going to slow down Jack's jungle just a little bit. He's not going to get those wolves. I don't know if they're going to steal this blue or if they're going to back off at this point. Looks like everyone else is back over to the lanes, so they could potentially lose a little bit of experience if they try and stick around and slow Jack down, but I think they've pretty much pulled off what they were looking to do here, which is just kind of slow down his jungle at a slight amount. So yes, we're going to have Scion up top. Love that skin, by the way. And that's going to be where he generally starts. Annie versus Brand. Brand generally has an advantage versus Annie. He has longer range than her, so he can harass her if she tries to run up and hit him with one of her abilities. But if he does get caught by one of her stuns, she can put down quite a bit of damage, and so that's kind of what we're going to see here. 2-8, though, known to be a really great player. Came over from Heroes of New Earth, one of the top players in Heroes of New Earth, and 2-8 definitely got to rank 1 in very short amount of time playing, I believe, Maokai and a little bit of Karma, and then he just kind of, quit. He said, okay, well, I figured out I can get to rank 1, I'm good now. Down bottom, though, we have Don't Mash Me from Team Curse, used to be Unrestricted. Great player as well, and just one of the team members there. As far as Call Me Vagos, I'm not familiar with a lot of the other players on this team, but all of them are top players, and so I'm not really sure of the outcome of these WCG matches. I don't know who the actual winner was of all the matches, so it should be pretty exciting to check out nonetheless. Now up top during the laning phase, I think that the Pirate's going to have a decent advantage because the fact that he can use his, he can eat oranges if he gets stunned by Scion. Scion relies on hitting you with that stun and then popping his shield on you, whereas the Pirate can just eat his oranges and he can get himself out of any kind of stun, silence, or slow. That's going to make him really good against that Scion. And here we go, a little bit of jump onto the Ashe, putting out pretty good damage. The thing about laning with a Janna is that she can shield you and reduce the amount of damage that you've taken with one of her abilities. The only thing is that with Janna, you can't heal up. So in this case here, where Don't Mash Me jumped on top of him and forced him to take a considerable amount of damage, he's going to have to rely on those health potions. You notice that most ranged carries, they'll pick up different items depending on who they're laning with. So the Janna actually is the laning phase with Ashe here, so she picks up boots and 3 health potions. That's the only way he's able to sustain himself. Whereas if he is with a Soraka or with a Taric or somebody who can heal, you'd probably see him start with a Doran's Blade. Alright, and Don't Mash Me actually decided to take the time where he had pushed the lane up to go back, and I'm guessing he's just going to get a few items to try and take that lane control. He does have boots and a Doran's Blade, couple of potions, and a ward. So he's planning on sticking to this lane for a while, using that ward for map control. And that should help him out against their jungler, by the way, who is Trundle. Trundle tends to be one of those junglers that gets really, really strong in the late game. He can destroy people's armor. He has his ultimate, once he gets level 6, will allow him to actually basically swap some of a tank's armor and stats and give it to himself, making him really, really strong, and also making it easier to kill tanks that are in the lane. Now, taking a look middle, looks like Yururu here on Annie is pushing Brand back a little bit and just trying to put down a little bit of harass. Annie's auto attack range is really long, but she is so far pushed up that this could be bad for her if she gets caught. That was a nice Q by Jet. Now, a little bit of a bug there from LOL Replay. It looked like he went through the wall, but he's actually just going around. Yururu trying to get out of here. He's actually going in a very odd spot. Let's see. He's going to run right through the towers, maybe try and kill himself so that... Oh, no! He was trying to die to the tower, so they did not get first blood, but he actually ended up using his flash and getting that first blood to Jet, so that's not good for him. Anyways, kind of a bad play on his part. He should have just died or tried to put out a little bit of damage before he went out. And either way, that's going to be first blood for Nocturne. Nocturne getting fed is pretty scary. The thing about Nocturne, though, is if he doesn't get a little bit of farm, he is kind of one of those carries that he kind of does a lot better if he has items, whereas some champions they can do okay, just pick up a few gold per 5 and just use their abilities like a Mumu. He's got a great initiate and stun, and he can do okay without as much items. But of course, every champion with lots of items is going to do great. Jet was going to go for a gank there. It's potential that there's a ward somewhere over here because this Sion looks like he might be playing a little defensive. Not quite. Well, I don't know. Looks like maybe he's just playing defensively. He doesn't necessarily know the Jet's there. He probably has a good idea. And there we go. There's the exhaust. Going to go down. And the ultimate. He uses his flash to try and get out. He's going to get feared. He does get feared. I don't know if he's going to die here. They're going to go for the dive. And he could potentially get out. But no, he is going to go down. Crispy SC just going to walk right on out of there. No problem. And down bottom, we do have a little bit of a gank. Looked like the Trundle was trying to come in here, didn't have anything happen. He put down his pillar. Cool thing about Trundle, though, he does have that pillar, and while he doesn't have any way to really close the gap on his opponents, he can actually just run really fast. He's got this area of filth he can lay down on the ground, and it does considerably increased attack speed and movement speed whenever he's in that area, so he can run up really fast. He can put down this pillar of filth, which sort of blocks off an area from a champion running away and slows them down for quite a bit. So his ganks are actually pretty strong. He can do really good damage if he just runs up, auto attacks you once or twice. That's a big chunk of your life, and in the laning phase, just losing a chunk of your life like that makes it really hard for you to stay in the lane versus your opponent. Now in the middle lane, there's a little bit of action going down. Looks like a trade of kills. The Brand went in for a kill, as well as Annie putting down the Tibbers on top of him, so they just kind of traded their lives back and forth there. Nobody really coming out on top. I guess it's going to be this team over here. So since Jet was able to pick up any creeps that would have been left behind, that's actually better for this team here. And I don't really know what their team names are, if they even have a team name. I'm just going to pretend like it's Team Canada because, again, I don't really know. I think that they're all trying to go for the top qualifiers of Team Canada, to be honest with you, so that might not work either. Bottom down here, looks like there was a little bit of action. Tristana went down, but so did Ashe. So once again, another trade of kills. Let's see if there's a little bit of a support battle. We got Alistar. I think Alistar is actually going to be having the upper hand here as long as he doesn't get hit in the tower. Yeah, there's a flash. He did pop that flash out by the Janna. So that's actually in his favor, regardless of him getting the kill or not. Anytime you can force your opponent to use one of their summoner abilities, that makes any future ganks a lot more possible, in addition to making it less likely for them to be able to gank you, like, you know, flash in and initiate on you or something like that. So that's always something to think about. As a jungler, jungler's roles are going to be to pop flashes. Let's see if he can get Chuate to use his flash. I think Chuate might have already used his flash, but this is going to be a great game. This is what I was talking about, that Pillar of Filth. Doing lots of damage to him, and boom, Trundle actually going to be picked up by Jet. That was a nice job. Brand goes down as well, but I think that Jet's going to be able to take this Annie out, no problem. Annie has just about one hit left. He does hit that Q. He's going to be able to follow him down. The cool thing about Nocturne's Q is if you land that, then it's going to actually follow that champion around, and Nocturne can run much faster when he's inside of that, and he's going to be able to attack extremely fast while he's inside of that area, that little blackish blue area that he's inside of. Really cool spell, and now he's got double buff. He picked up those 2 kills. That's going to be really strong for this team here, and Mashmi's going to be able to put a lot of damage onto this tower. It's a good choice by Mashmi to actually come up from that bottom lane to help out over here, as he is going to be able to... I don't think he's going to take out the tower. Nice job there. Looks like Sion's going to just fold down and prevent him. Sion's one of those champions that can really keep you from pushing towers, as well as push towers on his own. That shield just does massive damage, can blow up an entire creep wave, and his ultimate makes him attack extremely fast and give him 100% lifesteal at max, at max level. So let's say he just kills your entire creep wave and you're not around, he can turn on his ultimate and attack your tower and just do big damage to it. It's really strong. Alright, looks like the lanes are going to be going back to where they used to be, but Jat is coming in for what you call a bush gank. So what that is where they actually come around the top area and to the bush. I don't think he wanted to stay there for too long, so he's just kind of opted to run in and maybe do a little bit of damage to the crates. But if the lane had been pushing out, what the idea is that he would run into this bush right here, and let's say Sion had no idea he was there, come up, and usually top lane champions will tend to stay on the left side to prevent being ganked from over here, and that makes it a really dangerous gank because he can just run in, boom, and attack, try and get that fear off, and the pirate can potentially put down his ultimate. But anyways, we might see some more of that later. But in the meantime, Trundle down bottom is looking for an opportunity to get a gank off, and there we go. They spotted him though with that clairvoyance at the dragon. They were checking if anybody was at dragon, and they were able to see Trundle in that triangle bush. So he's gonna have to back off and just continue farming his own jungle. Let's see how the CS numbers are looking right now. I think that Domashmi is probably going to be the highest. Yeah, Domashmi is doing a really good job on bottom. He's quite a bit above that Ashe, and so I think that he's going to be a considerable force. Tristana's one of those champions that she's not as strong as some of the other carries in around the mid-game area, but as she gets to late game, especially if she gets a couple of kills and farm, she's going to be really strong. She just completely melt champions. She has an ability that she can push it, and it'll make her attack really fast. And so if she can just sit there in a safe spot and attack you for a couple of hits, she's going to do tons and tons of damage. Once she gets a lot of attack damage items together, that coupled with the attack speed is going to be really big. And boom, there we go. It looks like Jat actually came in from an ultimate from behind and was able to pick up that Trundle. Very good job there. Ururu was able to take out 2-8 in the meantime, though, so it's kind of an even trade, but there's actually 3 kills, so not really an even trade. I'm sorry. Lots of kills going down everywhere on the map. 2 kills in the middle and 1 on bottom, but I don't think Janna is going to be able to hold off Jat on this tower. This tower could potentially be going down before Janna can do anything about it. There's a cannon creep there, able to take lots of hits, and there we go. There's the health of it. This tower is definitely going to go down before this Janna can stop it. He's going to take that out, and that's going to be the first tower for, I'm just going to say Don't Match Me's team, since he's the one that sent me the replay. I'll call it his team. Alright, now in the meantime, bottom tower as well is going down, since they were able to push down, you know, Janna went mid to try and defend that, unsuccessful in that endeavor, and Ashe going down. That allowed them to push down 2 towers. That's going to be a huge, significant advantage for Don't Match Me's team here, and I think that Yuburu and Jopak and these guys are going to have to really make up for that and another push. Hopefully they can you know, pick up some towers whenever Domashmi's team is caught unaware. They're going to have to pick up a couple kills, but that last fight there where they lost these 2 guys in the middle and Ashe on bottom, that was really bad for them. Let's see, 2-8 going to be building up that death cap very quickly. He's going for the 2 Doran's rings. 2 different builds that I see on a lot of AP champions. You see them either go for a Rod of Ages into a death cap, or you can potentially see them go for the Doran's ring into a death cap. And in this case, you can obviously tell what 2-8's decided to do. It's kind of like a poor man's version of a Rod of Ages. If you... Sorry, I just had a little bit of a... I think I just put my thing on the wrong... Just had like a seizure there. Let me see if I can get the screen back in normal viewing mode. There we go. Okay, fixed it. Anyways, there we go. So as I was saying though, okay, so the blue's going to be going down for 2-8. I think I'm zooming out a little bit too much there. Yuru trying to come in there. She didn't know that the Alistar was in the bush, though. She's going to have to get out of there really quickly or she's going to be in trouble. If 2-8 can get a stun over there. Oh, he just barely misses the stun. Tries to put down his ultimate. Big damage going on her. I think that this is going to take the kill. Boom, there goes the ultimate. Right, barely in range of her. So she thought she was going to get a kill on a 2-8, not knowing that the Alistar was there. And so kind of a bad choice. And now they're going to be able to freely take this dragon without anybody doing anything about it. That's 4 people at dragon. I think that right now, Don't Mash Me's team has got this game in the bag as long as they don't make any mistakes later on. All 3 of their towers is up. They've taken a dragon. They've gotten 2 towers. They're 5 kills ahead. They're above in creep score. That's a significant advantage right there, if I don't say so myself. Let's see. As far as items, looks like we have a couple of gold per 5 going down as well. Gold per 5 is going to give you a pretty big advantage, to say around minute 40. If you each gold per 5 item, if you got it around 8 to 12 minutes, that's going to be between 800 to 1,000 gold, depending on what minute you got it at. So that's a pretty significant amount. That's about 2.5 creep kills or champion kills in gold if each champion is worth around 300. So pretty significant amount. Now the Trundle over here trying to do his race, but Jet tries to catch him out of place. I don't think Jet's going to be able to catch him and kill him, but just going to push him out for a little bit. And Ash down here going to kind of pincer move these guys. They're going to have to get out of there. There is an Annie over there as well as that Trundle. They don't want to fight that 2v3. This entire time, though, Pirate has been just free farming up top, trying to put pressure on that top lane while everybody else just kind of roams around. They can freely move around. They have this entire map control area. Due to the fact that both of these towers are down, they can move freely through this woods without too much trouble because they can easily fall back and not worry about a tower hitting them. That's what giving away these towers does to you, is it makes you lose control of your jungle, and that's a huge disadvantage. But up top, looks like a little bit of battle going on, not really a lot of damage on that pirate. It's going to be really difficult for Sion to do anything meaningful, to be perfectly honest. Now, Crispy, he doesn't have a lot of damage items or defense or anything like that. He did opt for 2 gold per 5s so that he can come back late game and just be a force that is unstoppable. That's pretty much the goal of him, and I see that a lot in top lanes. You'll see the top lanes, they try and stay out of a lot of the fights, and they rely on the team just basically all 4 of the rest of the team to do whatever they need to do and try and just keep the other top lane either occupied and unable to do anything while they just continually farm up. And the goal is, if the game goes long enough, then this person's going to be so extremely fed and farmed that they're going to be very difficult to deal with. But looks like the Scion stays in a little too long. He didn't have the map awareness to see everyone else coming, and since they pretty much have all the towers, they can roam around anywhere they want. They're going to take this tower down, and I think that they're making the right choice here in the middle. If they can take this tower, that's going to be at least one redeeming factor of losing the top tower. But if they're not quick enough, they could potentially lose another tower. It appears that they could be going for this. Nope, never mind. They're just going to back off while Mashme does some attacks on it. There we go, putting down a ward. If they have a little bit of counterattack coming from this side, they'll be able to see that and back off in no time. But that's going to be another tower. I think they can actually take this tower safely if they're quick enough. Oh, there we go. Jat is going to go ahead and ult onto that Annie. Gets the fear out before Annie's able to do any spells at all. She doesn't even cast one spell and she goes down. That was a great job. Nice knock up. Alistar got there just in time, right after the fear wore off, and knocked her up into the air. They were able to finish her off, no problem. And I'm pretty sure they can push this tower down in just a second if they stick around, but they may potentially just opt to get out of there and take that kill and not risk it any further. There's no reason for them to risk it since they are so far ahead right now. They can pretty much take full map control at this point and potentially even force a Baron fight next. At this point, since they have all 3 towers down, they've got some wards in the enemy jungle. If they start that Baron, then they're going to force the team to either come fight them off of Baron, or they're just going to get a free Baron out of it. We'll see if that's what they decide to do, or if they just continually farm. They have both options, whereas the only option for this team is to try and take any of these 3 front towers. That's really where they are still left, and whereas Domashimi's team, they're already pretty much in a good position. They're going towards the middle late game objectives, whereas these guys are like, man, guys, we got to get some towers. Oh no, looks like Jet might get caught. He's got his spell shield and he's got flash though, so he's going to be no problem. He's going to jump out of there. That Trundle wall did slow him down, no problem. He was in a good spot to flash out though. Alrighty. So at this point, I guess they stole the blue. No, never mind. The blue's up. I was about to say, I was like, oh, that's a little icon there. I don't remember them getting the blue. So True8's going to go ahead and pick up the blue for himself. Really nice on that Brand. Those cooldowns on Brand's abilities are really great. And he can just spam out spells one after the other. It's great poke. Cool thing about Brand is that he can easily push. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that, guys. Looks like Don't Match Me ran in and killed that Ashe. and was with Janna as well. So he is really strong right now. Let me take a look at what he's got so far. Don't Match Me already has a Bloodthirster and a Zeal built up. Going to be working towards that Phantom Dancer in no time. Oh my goodness, he's going to be careful. Looks like the enemy is coming around to pick her up. And I think that Alistar wants to go for the kill. There's the ultimate from Jat. And nice ulti there by Janna, pushing him out, but unfortunately, that also cancels out what Annie's ultimate was going to do. Annie went down, so a little bit of a miscommunication. Annie was trying to put down the Tibbers, but since Janna pushed him away, that Tibbers did not connect with anyone. So both of them get out just fine, and just a couple of ultimates wasted. They're going to have to wait for those to come back up. So there we go. You can kind of tell with this map control advantage, Jat's got a double buff as well as 2-8 having a blue buff. That just shows that, I mean, they were able to pick up all of the enemy team's jungle buffs. That's going to significantly weaken this team while buffing them a lot. So I don't really know what they can do at this point. I think they've got this game. And I said this earlier, but I mean, the gap is just getting wider and wider and wider. They're picking up another dragon. They got full control of this map, and I don't think it's going to go on much longer. It's only at 20 minutes, and this game's pretty much lost for these guys unless Don't Match Me's team makes a huge mistake, loses the Baron fight or something like that. Here we go, and he could be potentially getting caught out of position. I don't know, it could be close. There we go. There's a nice knock up and a Brand ultimate. Going to be bouncing around several times. That was a great job. Jet takes out the Scion. Scion stayed around too long, and the Annie gets away. Actually, I thought Annie was going to die, but instead, she gets away, and Scion takes it for the team. Either way, like I said, that gap is getting wider and wider. Now that Scion is down, he's not going to be able to instantly clear these creep waves to keep him off of the tower, and they're just going to be able to easily split push. You can see they're pushing in all three lanes right now. They're so strong they can do this. They've got enough range and poke that they can just sit here and hold these creeps back. Don't Match Me is going to be able to just melt this tower on bottom while Pirate, again, he's just staying top this entire time. Let's look at what he's got by now. Still just working on those Go for 5 items. He doesn't even have all that much stuff. I'm sure he's got a lot of gold. He just hasn't spent it yet. Oh, there we go. Andy trying to come in for the kill. Ignites Crispy, but it's going to be fine because he already took the tower out, and now Andy's going to be in a very bad spot. She's already behind everybody. She put down her Tibbers and not going to help her out. Crispy's right there, ready to pick her up. Oh, she actually does pick up the kill on Crispy. That was nice, but she goes down, so it doesn't really matter. And I think that the Ashe wants to take Jet out. Not going to happen, and they're going to have to be careful here. Oh, Scion takes out Jet. I guess he had an Ignite on him. That was really close. I'm pretty sure that was like the last tick of that. Oh no, 2-8 going down. That's a really good fight there. I thought it was going to go a little bit better for Don't Match Me's team, but now an Oracle's going to go down. Oracle's is a huge hit. Not only do they get the gold from that, so they get 100. Let's see, they got about, I'd say 300, 330 gold for that, but the Alistar also loses 400 gold, and Alistar has not been farming this game. He's only got 34 CS. He is the support, so he's relying on these gold per 5 items to supply him with that money. And so losing 400 gold is a pretty big deal. And now, see, he just bought another Oracle's Elixir. That's a lot of money. So those are the kind of fights that can help you catch back up as a team that I still feel like they're very, very far behind. They have not taken any of the front towers. Each one of these towers adds a significant amount of gold to the entire team once they take one out. So since all three of these towers are down, and this one, the back ones actually count for a little bit more. So even if the kills were even and the farm was even, Don't Match Me's team would be very, very far ahead right now with all 5 of those towers because of the fact that you get that global gold, and it also gives experience to the team. Looks like the Scion wanted to do a little bit of burst to the Alistar there, but he also did not want to get in range of getting knocked up and stunned and pushed back into 2-8 because that would have been lights out for him. While Scion can do a lot of damage and his shield can block quite a bit of damage, he's a very squishy champion once that shield goes down. So he has to be very careful and decide when he wants to engage. Now, Alistar needs to be careful here. This might be a little bit of a ward bait. If he goes in here and gets caught by an Ash Arrow or something like that, he could potentially go down. There goes the stun. Is he going to get caught? He uses his ultimate. The cool thing about Alistar is he can actually ulti out of a stun. J-Pod goes down really fast. Bad positioning on Janna's part. She was standing in the front so she could ulti, but she didn't get it off because she got stunned. And now Sion's caught with an ignite on him. Gets jumped onto by Don't Mash Me. Don't Mash Me gets that kill. It looks like Trundle tried to put his ultimate onto Don't Mash Me to do a little bit of damage if possible, but he still wasn't able to take anything meaningful out of that. That was really bad engage for them. Bad positioning overall. They turned a ward bait into a bad fight for themselves. And once again, there's that gap. Just continues to widen for them. The only ones left to defend now are Trundle, and I don't know where everybody else is. I think Janna just barely respawned. Ashe probably had to go back and heal up. So that's another tower, and I think there could be a Baron very soon. Oh, and there's the surrender vote. That's going to be game number 1. We still got 2 more games. So, you know, it's best 2 out of 3. So we got 1 or 2 more games. And anyways, this is Colby Cheese, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And be sure to watch the next game. I'll see you guys next.